Did you hear this? I mean, Art, sometimes we lose track of them. That's just the way it goes. What's your response to Mayorkas?
I mean, you can't help but laugh at this point when you see this individual jump on. I can tell you, for the last 4 years, I've never even spoken to the man. So, look, he can go out on TV, say whatever he wants to say. He's got to defend his actions for the last 4 years. What he's actually defending is the inactions. And it just sickens me when I hear him say some of these children have been reunited, because I think the question that needs to be asked of him when he says that is, how did you vet the individuals that came and picked up these children? Because these children that were separated or that they came in across by themselves, they were handed over to another organization. That organization tried to find relatives and family members, and that's the organization that handed them off. But, you know, they didn't vet them correctly, or they didn't even know. I happen to have spoken to several of those individuals that would have worked in these places, and they said, hey, people would come across or we'd fly kids somewhere else. They would say they were individuals. They had nothing to do with it.
Wow.
But obviously somebody spoke to somebody. And so when you hear him say those kids were reunited, I think the question that should be asked next is, how did you vet the individuals that came and took custody of those children?
Jonathan,
and all it is continuing to brush everything under the rug, because he knows he was part of the mess that was caused the last 4 years on our borders.
Jonathan, I know you want to jump in here. Go right ahead.
Yeah, Art, that's a great point. They didn't vet them, and we all know this administration, meaning the Biden administration, wanted as many illegal aliens to come into the country, so they did nothing. They didn't just ignore it, they encouraged it. But I want to get back to one of your points earlier. You know, we do need a sort of concerted effort of law enforcement working together, and it seems like we need federal and state law enforcement to work hand in hand to deport certainly the most serious criminals that are here that were brought in by Alejandro Mayorkas. What are certain ways that federal agents and local police departments can partner up to make this deportation move effective?
Well, I think one of the things is when you know, local law enforcement encounter people that have a questionable immigration status, it's a phone call away. Contact ICE, contact another agency. Make sure you make sure who they are if they're here legally. And at the same time, you're going to have some cooperation when it comes to some of these detention facilities. I happen to know some sheriffs on the border that are wanting to ask for as much as $300 a day to house some of these people. So, hey, they were all for helping, but then you turn around and say, but wait a minute, it's at the cost of $300 a day to the taxpayer per person. Now, I know it's going to cost money, but they need to work hand in hand and figure out how to do this more effectively at less of a cost to the taxpayer as well.
Well, we've already spent billions and billions and billions of dollars. Artdale Cueto, thank you for coming on today. Really appreciate your time, and Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.